Pogo Milo UK tells us he caught over 2 trillion shiny Sandshrew. Ian Waterfall shocks us that he's drinking water again. And Masterful27 gets a refund for his hotel in Seville. Welcome back to Lure Module, a Pokemon GO podcast. Fellas, good evening.
How's it
How
going?
are we all?
Hey, it's like episode 1 all over again.
It's a rebrand.
I like a rebrand. We can get away with rehashing it. Love it, yeah.
You can, yeah.
I couldn't get my money back though on the flights. That's been a kicker, but yeah.
Ryanair don't do refunds.
They don't.
Well, Marky boy, the good news is we have a new Patreon for Lure Module Podcast.
We do have a new Patreon and a new Twitter, and we'll have a... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes, we've got a lot of work to do, Milo, in the next 3 days.
Oh, no. It's an entire rebrand.
We're going to have to do a new TikTok. We've only just started the goddamn thing.
Killing it off after a week.
Quickly, someone say something funny.
Balls.
We need a YouTube short.
Oh, dear. Koopsy, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks for asking. I am all good. But as promised, at the end of last week's episode, we will definitely be talking about Incense tonight. And speaking of... You lot know what to do. Follow us on all of our platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Lord Model Podcast. And tag us if you get a shiny whilst listening, so you can be a part of the show during our Shinies of the Week section. Make sure to hashtag the tweet too, using our famous tag, Shinies of the Week. But please, Ian...
Clarify the spelling, you twat.
So yes, that's hashtag SHINIESOFTHEWEEK. There's always so much. Did I get that right? There's always so much pressure doing that.
Yeah, well done.
I'm extra impressed because it's written down on your notes.
GG's.
Honestly, I get worried. I'm going to go SHIQFWO. Oh, shit.
SHIT.
Yeah. Hey, 1 week, bro. 1 week, bro. But lads, I tell you what, happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Whee.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Hey.
And what did you say before the show, Ian? What did you say?
I said, I am not touching Guinness because it makes me ill.
He was literally like, I'm not touching Guinness whether it's St. Paddy's Day or not, and I have to completely agree with you. But speaking of alcohol, I'm totally letting down the squad boys. I'm just on the water tonight. What about you, Ian?
I'm always on the good stuff, man. Always on the good stuff.
Is that really Ian juice? Yeah.
It's water, or it could be vodka cunningly disguised. Who knows?
No, we know it's not. We know it's not.
Ian, we need to help you.
Vodka fall. That's what we're called.
Vodka fall. Vodka fall. What's vodka in German? We need to find that out. So we've got Wasserwahl.
There isn't vodka everywhere.
Vodka. It's vodka. Vodka fall.
Vodka.
It's like Willy Wodka. Vodka ball.
He doesn't have to change his initials. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But you know me. I'm on the Hawkstone Lager, but I do have a glass of, Ian juice next to me as well.
Oh, cute.
Freshly squeezed.
It was worth the 2 hours to Grantham, mate.
Bro, the fact you just said freshly squeezed, oh my God.
Oh. I've just got a little beer, my friend, and I've got a glass of not so freshly squeezed. This is from Shinks Comday.
Shinks Comday? Oh my God, not even from Johto Tour.
No. It's a
Mark,
vintage
you're not going to tell them the third drink you've got some Koopsy juice or not?
Oh, yeah, and a mug of Koopsy coffee juice.
Koopsy juice, is that like some sort of yogurt?
As I say, how old is the Koops juice?
Well, Ian, they say when you're younger, it's a bit thicker. It's a bit thicker, isn't it, when you're younger?
Different podcast, same amount of drinks.
Yes.
I am
Ian,
so not looking forward to rebranding all this stuff.
You'll be fine, mate. But as you are all aware, well, I hope you are. If you haven't listened, make sure you tune back to last week's episode. But you will know last week in our Getting to Know You section, we did ask if you were in a film, what actor or actress would you get to play your character? For this week's Getting to Know You segment, well, first of all, we're going to play the fucking jingle.
Yes, just might be a different show, but we still have the jingles to play.
We haven't worked on the new jingles yet.
No, not just yet.
And now, children, it's time for Getting to Know You with the
Lure Module
podcast.
I'm going to do a really shitty dub on that.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah.
Now, children, it's time for getting to know with Le Module.
No module. Duh.
Yeah. But gentlemen, talking about films that I just mentioned about last week, your question this week, and Milo, let's start with you, bro. Then we'll go Mark, and then we'll go Ian. What's the worst film that you've ever seen? Now, when I say worst, you can interpret that how you want to,
as you
but
like it.
as you like it. But what's the worst film you've ever seen?
The thing is, I would interpret that as a something that's set up to be good, but turns out to be really fucking bad. Like, there are bad movies that are made and they've got a notoriety of being bad, and that gives them character and it's a bit of fun. While I was editing, I put the Fast and Furious franchise on just in the background, and
all nine of them.
when it came to Fast and Furious 8, I remember this. I actually went to the cinema.
I know what you're going to say. I actually know what you're going to say.
I went to the cinema with a few of my friends from film school, and oh my fucking God, how did they make it that terrible? Like, they made decent actors appear to be like Pinocchio, like fucking wooden. It was so weird, and it was so bad. And we came out of the cinema and it's like, what the fuck did we just watch? Like, seriously? I think that's got to be up there. Was that
the one, Milo? Was that the one at the start? Like, basically, like The Rock and Vin Diesel, they like flew out of like the 48th window and then they survived. They like hit the floor and survived. Was it one like that?
Okay. This is the one where it began with they're in Cuba, and then Vin Diesel wins a race driving a car on fire backwards, and then he flips this thing like 60,000 feet in the air into the water. So you're like, okay, you're causing massive pollution because you're putting petrol and burning oil and nitrous into the water, and all the locals he's nearly killed are like, "Whee! Oh, amazing win!" And like this mate who he's taken his mate's car to do this race with, it's like, oh, great stuff. And it's like, sorry about your car. It's like, you just fucking wrote it off, mate. What are you doing?
They are, I feel like they're so bad that they're kind of good as well. Also, are you proud of me, Milo? I'm actually like listening to you talk about cars. That's unlike me. That's really unlike
It's
me.
like Cars by proxy. I had to get it in somewhere.
Yeah. What about you, Marky?
I'm just thinking any film that has an 8th film in the series, they've kept the same.
It doesn't bode well.
Oh, mate. But no, I feel your pain a bit, Milo, because like this film's technically the 5th one in the series of films, but oh my God, it was awful. I picked it as in the worst film. It should have been really good. And it was awful. And that was the 97 film Batman and Robin. Mm-hmm. I love Batman films. George Clooney as Batman, oh my fucking days. That's awful in its own sort of thing. But then when you throw in Arnold Schwarzenegger as like one of the main enemies, it's like Mr. fucking Freeze.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh my God.
And Uma Thurman, she's good. She's nice to the eye, but even her character, I think Poison Ivy, her name, wasn't it? Like, it was, she made people fall in love with her. And like, you look at that and you go, that's really, really... That's an awful... There's no depth to the film there.
Yeah.
I think the only same goes was Chris O'Donnell from memory in it, but bloody hell, it had Batgirl in it as well. And it was just 2 hours of absolute drivel. It was just crap. Fortunately, all the other Batman films after that seemed to be a lot better. But yeah, George Clooney as Batman. Fucking
It's
hell.
that same thing of getting like a really good like crop of actors, and then it just turns out shit.
Exactly.
A bit like us. We're all quite nice people. Start a podcast and it's
intentional.
Shit.
It's intentional.
This is intentionally shit.
No Module Podcast. Doing what we do best.
What about you, Ian?
I'm glad I actually wrote this down at work because you're not going to believe me. The worst film I've got is also Batman and Robin from 1997.
Oh my God.
No way.
Now, there are many reasons why this film is bad.
Hold on, wait a sec. Did you two actually just pick the same film and you've genuinely not...
They
It's probably the worst film ever made, I would say.
Damn, that lure module's really connecting us together, isn't it?
It is. We're connected. So, okay, I'll elaborate on a few things Mark said. It's actually the 4th film in the Batman franchise, and director Joel...
Are you not counting Batman the movie from 1966, Ian, in that
No,
list
I'm not counting that in the
Batman
series.
Oh, Milo.
I'm starting in 1989 with the Tim Burton sort of duology.
Milo, play PvP corner. Play PvP corner.
I'm not on the
I'm in charge
soundboard.
of the soundboard. So, yeah, director Joel Schumacher took the series in the campiest direction ever. I mean, Batman Forever wasn't great. It was okay. Batman and Robin just failed on almost, and I stress almost, everything. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze is fucking terrible, and I like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
Chris O'Donnell, I normally love. In NCS Los Angeles, he's brilliant, but in Batman and Robin, he is the worst Robin ever. George Clooney, good as Bruce Wayne, in my opinion, but terrible as Batman. Now, talking about Batman, you do not need to put bat nipples on the bat suit. That is just a step too far. Okay, it's just a step too far. The story is awful.
Espresso things here, and there were Nespresso capsules.
Was it cold?
It must have been very cold in the Batcave.
Very cold on set.
With that go, because I could actually ramble for about 2 hours about how bad this movie is. The one thing that this movie did great, and the one thing that will only be the reason I watch this movie, is Alicia Silverstone in Rubber. Enough said. She's fucking gorgeous. Her ass looks great in that Batgirl outfit. She is the best part of the movie. She's normally good at actress. In this film, everyone acts terribly, but Alicia Silverstone in Rubber, fuck me. Yeah, that'll be the only reason I watch it.
She wouldn't, Ian, I'm afraid.
So. How do you know? Sorry. Anyway, so Coops, what's your worst ever movie?
So it's actually funny that you both have. Is it Marvel? What is Batman's DC?
DC.
Okay, sorry. Ian was ready to throw hands at me then. Did you see him? He was like, Batman is not. Oh no, he's Northern, isn't he?
Batman is not
Batman
Marvel.
is not. Yeah.
Batman is not Northern. I'm not Northern.
It's funny you said this, and to be honest, the reason why I asked this question is because I literally saw this film about 2 weeks ago. So I thought, what a good time after last week's to ask this one. Watched a few films, and if I was going to give this award last year, I'd have to give it to fucking Dune. It was. I watched about 30 minutes and turned it off, right? And I didn't think it could get worse than that. But 2 weeks ago, lads, I watched the new Spider-Man, the what is it, the No Way Home,
No Way
Home. It was the worst film that I have ever seen in my whole entire life, right? And I know that people big up Tom Holland and Zendaya, and obviously Tom Holland's from England. I should be like, yeah, go Tom. He was overacting like an absolute fanny. The whole thing was awful. Then all of a sudden, all 3 Spider-Men come in, and I'll be honest, I fell asleep
Spoilers.
about 20. Yeah, sorry. I think all the fans would have seen it by now. And I fell asleep about 25 minutes to the end, and the film was so bad. I hated it that much. It made no sense. And actually, I remember the geezer with like the metal arms coming out of his back from when I used to play the PlayStation 2 game.
Oh, Dr. Octavia.
Yeah, I remember. I used to play, and I remember he was like down in the sewage or some shit like that. And even then, it just made me angry. I fucking hated every second of it, to the fact where 2 weeks later, it's made me ask this question on the podcast because I wanted to say how shit it was, and I apologise because I know there's a lot of Marvel fans out there, and I know that apparently this film did like $2 trillion in the first weekend. It's the biggest heap of shit that I've ever seen in my life. So apologies.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I loved it.
Controversial, Coops.
It also, Coops, it's worth noting, it also had $2 trillion worth of refund requests after 25 minutes of people watching it. So
it broke that record.
Means nothing.
But anyway, that was interesting. And maybe next week, no films, boys. Is that the deal? No films.
We're not making
We'll
any
see.
deals. We'll see.
We'll
Milo's
see
a film
next
student,
week on
Coops.
Le Moduled.
Le Module podcast. We'll see.
Next week, Milo will be like, "What's your favourite rom-com?"
Perfect. Thank you. You've really helped me out.
Week after, favourite
Valentine's
horror.
Day.
Yeah. Right, shall we move it along, lads? Because last weekend was Sandshrew Community Day. If there's ever a common day to do that sound effect for, this was not it.
Depends what he was doing, doesn't it?
Oh dear.
So come on then, Milo, because you brought it up.
yeah.
How was your Sandshrew Community Day? Did you did you get your? What did I say in the intro? What did I say? 2
You
trillion.
said some preposterous number. Now I got very, very small. Familiar with
Number
small
for Milo.
numbers. Small number. What did I get?
You was a bit preoccupied, wasn't you, mate?
Yes, I was making a video. I was making a video, Ian, and in a new city. I was playing somewhere else, but I got like 27.
Nice.
27, Milo. You did get 27. It was a good number for
Yeah,
you.
it was
So,
all right. It was
where,
all right.
what did you do? Where were you? Where did you travel to?
You guys know, but listeners, I drove over to Stroud to go and meet up with the streamer Coolstar for the day, which was pretty good fun. Ian, you old man Ian is,
It's Northern Ian.
I'd rather be northern than
No, it was
southern.
already fun.
It was so funny because I just left it alone. It's always good to see a new place, by the way, and I think Stroud's not far from where we are. Our neck of the woods of Stroud always strikes me as a very strange place, just because it's got loads of windy roads. It's quite inaccessible in larger vehicles. It's just very much.
I enjoyed the drive there. It was brilliant.
Did you?
Foot down, had the roof down. It's amazing.
What we watched it. It's a 27 Milo in a new place. I bet you got loads of extra XP. Not that you need it, spinning all those new stops, didn't you, mate?
I assume so.
What, Mark? Did you say stops, Mark? Beep, 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 beep.
Stops.
He had more stop. He had less stops there than he had back home on his fucking doorstep. I bet he went to Stroud and went,
Possibly.
what, 6 stops?
This is disappointing.
I tell you what,
It's the
Milo.
Costa stop.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Starbucks where Milo is, Costa in Stroud. That's the difference when you leave them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you leave Ealing.
So Milo, the question was, obviously you had a nice day with Coolstar and that playing the Com Day. The question that I want to know, by the way, lovely girl, I've definitely DM'd her before, she never replied, but
Why would she?
The question is,
Shots fired.
yeah, can we get this? God, we haven't had that sound effect for a while. Milo, the question we want to know, did you invite her on to the poddy?
I might be doing a little bit of work on that,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
No, we're
That's a
talking
bit of
about
work. That doesn't sound very encouraging. Fucking hell.
As in, like, I haven't asked at all.
Oh, okay.
We need
But
a new
now
guest.
I
Who's
will.
the first guest?
Yeah,
Now
we need
I
a new
will.
guest,
We
don't
need someone that's going to turn up. Someone that doesn't sleep through the show.
Now we need a shots fired in there.
Oh, that's 2 in a
This
minute.
is on the same time zone.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
You're busting me up tonight, bro.
The thing is, now we've changed all our social media and everything, we probably haven't picked up any DMs either, have we? Learn module now. No.
But I want to know about your guys' community day. Marky boy, how was your shrew-infested Sunday?
Well, I was expecting us to go to Oxford, so actually, in mate terms, you just ditched us, mate. So that's in mate terms, you just
Yeah.
He
ditched us.
did.
Mark, the term is called muff before
I am a
mates.
twat.
I said to
heard that
Ian, I
one before,
messaged Ian. I messaged because joking aside, I was like, left a bit hanging. Going, I think we're going to Oxford. I was like, had it all for the weekend. Going, yeah, I'm definitely doing Oxford. Yeah, pretty certain we're doing Oxford. I messaged Ian, and he was like, no, it's not on anymore. And I went, all right. So it was rehashed the whole weekend.
Sorry,
to be fair,
I tend to put my phone on silent when I'm editing the show, like Friday and Saturday, so that's why I didn't
Yeah, that's
respond.
why. That's why.
it turned into like a day of not really playing too much of it. Which, to be fair, and I will say this, Milo, thank you inadvertently for doing that, because Sandshrew Com Day, in terms of the experience, was fucking awful. It was just snowy fucking sandshrews everywhere, and I played the first 2 hours at home, so that shows how much enthusiasm I had for it. And then when I did go out and do a little bit, I enjoy vlogging a Com Day. It's good fun. Better when you've got people there playing it with you, but It's good fun. It just became really just fucking repetitive, awful. It was just, I'd played probably 3 hours in total, including the 2 hours at home for
It's
it.
2 hours and 49 minutes more than Ian.
No, I actually played quite a bit of the event.
I
a
did
bit
at
of the
least
event.
12 minutes.
I got 8 shinies, by the way. I think I've got 2 Kanto, which were the rare ones, and 6 Alolan ones. And
Yeah.
I nearly got, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. The final shiny I got, I nearly got a Shinundo.
Shiny
and
Zero.
It was literally, it was nearly a shiny. It was 2-0. It was
Whoa.
1-0-0.
Oh, mate. 2% IV.
2% IV. But yeah, I'm pleased it's done now. We can move on, can't we?
Yes, hopefully we can. But Ian, actually, how was yours?
I played just over 4.5 hours, and it was like pulling teeth. The spawns were not balanced, but I don't think they were for anybody. The Alolan spawns were just everywhere. I ended up on 22, which was, to be fair, more than I actually wanted. But of that 22, I only got 5 Kanto Shiny Sandshrew, and the rest were all Alolan. It was the deadest bonus with the fucking quarter egg hatch distance. Mark nailed it. A community day when you're on your own is nowhere near as much fun as when you're with mates.
Thanks, Milo.
Sorry, I'll make it up to you guys.
So can I just ask a question, Milo? Has Walpole Park recovered from you ditching it for a con day?
It has, because it's actually got an extra stop now. It's got a new stop in it. Been doing some wayfaring with Francesca, so it's even better now, guys.
Can I ask a question, Milo? And this is something
Another
I picked
one.
up on your vlog before we ask them.
Here's the interview Milo
Another
week.
one.
Yeah. So Milo, on your vlog, you went, I've got to thank Francesco for the hundo alert. How the fuck does he know there's hundos in Stroud when he's in Walpole Park? Or was he not on camera? Was he with you, really?
No. So the map that we use covers a lot of different cities, and it's all linked in the same Discord. So he actually got there's a hundo map coverage for a huge area around Stroud and including the town. So that's how it got picked up.
Spoofers.
Spoofing. Using maps' coops, I'll give you that one.
It's by proxy in some way. Because
proxy.
technically you're not spoofing yourself.
Can I just throw in, according to the chat, what we've got for this recording, Sue, one of our patrons, HermesNinja, 74 shinies for Community Day.
Jesus. And 39 were Cantonian, so that's a reasonably even split.
That's a pretty fair split, yeah.
It's a great split.
They'd probably fix the spawns by the time we got to America.
I was quite close to that as well.
Are you sure, Coopsy?
And
In your
Coopsy, how was
dreams.
your com day? How was
Yeah,
your
how was
com day,
yours?
Coops?
So I didn't actually do it, but I was actually quite upset
You didn't miss a lot.
because Alolan Sandshrew is actually really good in Ultra League. I kind of only realised it was Community Day until about like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I was like, oh shit, it was today, wasn't it? And I was
the evolving time's gone.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, dead. No, yeah, because I really wanted the XL because I've maxed one before, but I took it over 2,500 by mistake. But yeah, you know, back when that. Do you remember with the old bar, like when?
Yeah, that's when you couldn't tell.
Yeah, but which honestly, I actually genuinely would have played if I'd organised myself better. But talking about next month's Community Day, because obviously now we've got to look forward until April. I did just want to talk about, as this moment that we're recording this, there has been no announcement. And what's the date for April's Com Day, boys? Some of you will know.
April 23rd.
April 23rd.
It's a Saturday.
Glad we've got you.
Next to a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
At the moment, we don't know what it is, so I wanted to say predictions. I literally saw one tweet on Twitter that's saying it was going to be Geodude, so I put that energy into the air because I'd actually genuinely love it to be Geodude. So that's my guess. Ian, what's yours?
It's not it is a guess, but it's a confident guess. It's going to be Chespin. It's going to be the next starter.
Okay, you're going with the starters. Yeah, fair. That makes sense. Milo?
I'm praying it's Chespin for a Com
Are
Day.
you that upset about Geodude?
I'm just thinking like Geodude would be fucking pointless.
Why? You were just moaning
I
a
still
month
need
ago
one-
that
I
you
still
never
need
saw
one
in the
Kanto
wild.
Geodude.
No. I was using Geodude to make a point way back in the day. I've got 12 fucking shinies of the
See,
thing.
Marky?
I was doing it for the greater good.
Mark, predictions?
I've got a gut feeling they're gonna just play this stupid game they're playing. And I think it'll be a Vulpix Com Day in April.
Vulpix, yeah?
A Lowen Vulpix out, and they can put Fire Vulpix out, and they'll do a mishmash of them, and we'll have loads more of the fucking Fire one, just to go opposite to what we had
That's
this
the
month.
research reward, though, isn't it? So
Exactly, that's why they'll do it. That's probably why they'll do it then, because they love to keep changing it a bit.
2021, Gibble was the research breakthrough for March, and then it was the Com Day for June, so that has worked. But Vulpix is more likely than Geodude, I think, because remember, Sandshrew was in the 2020 voting system for one of the voting selections, and Vulpix was in the February voting way back in the day.
Starly was as well, so that could potentially be one for later
Oh,
on
yeah,
down the
that'd be
road.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm only keeping the Alolan connection.
Well, no, because I'm positive it's Chespin.
Yeah, hopefully Chespin, and then maybe Vulpix for May.
Chespin would be good.
I was going to say, it's definitely not going to be Geodude. I literally saw one tweet about it and I was, quickly jump on this
Quickly put
straight
it
away. Yeah. But like I said, I would actually, make Gollum great again. Bless his heart. He's been left in the shadows since 2017. He deserves a bit of smackdown, you know? He deserves.
Yeah.
2016 and 2017, it was the meta.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day. It was because they've done a move update and rollout was pushed into the game files, I believe, which is, I think, one of Golem's moves, or maybe its signature move. I can't remember entirely. So there's a new move that might have preempted somebody to make a tweet, and then Coops has gone, ooh, let me latch onto that.
Literally, bro.
But it's funny you should say that. When you said that, Coops, you went, I'm only messing. There's no way it's going to be it. I've seen loads of people on
Have
Twitter
you
talking
actually?
about it
Yeah.
being Geodude in
fair.
April. Yeah.
Yes. The good thing is, Marky boy, this time next week we will have it confirmed and we'll be talking about it. But seeing as it took us 20 minutes to get talking about Pokemon, we might as well carry on talking about Pokemon. It's now time for the news.
Is the news.
On Learn Module Podcast.
It's staying.
Unfortunately, in this next event, we're going to be talking about the 3-hour Learn Module bonus is gone. But Lush Jungle was actually just announced at 8 o'clock tonight before we started recording. So thank fuck Niantic. Thank you very much.
Second week in a row.
Yeah.
Second week in a row they've done that.
Niantic, get in
are on
touch.
board with us. Yeah. So sorry we fucked the Incense for your podcast, but here, have the news on time. So, Lush Jungle event is for the end of March, running from Tuesday the 22nd at 10 a.m. your local time to Tuesday the 29th of March at 8 p.m. your local time. So a full week for this event. And the best news is there is a new shiny. It's Cottony.
Woo!
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Shiny Cottony is coming to Pokemon Go. Long overdue, I think. Long overdue. We are getting a special Spotlight weekend. So March the 26th, which is a Saturday, and March the 27th, Sunday, Cottony will be appearing more frequently in parks. And for the first time, obviously, you'll be able to get the shiny of that. So basically, a 2-day Spotlight. You remember we had Hoppip Comday where Skip Bloom was spawning in parks. Cottony will be appearing more in wild spaces. I think that's really cool.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good. Someone messaged us on Twitter talking about, do you remember when you used to have like those field research days on weekends?
Yes.
Like, do you remember like you played the game,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh my God, there's an event this Saturday. Like you try and get bloody shiny Castform and it was shiny bloody Phoebus and stuff like that. I love those.
Lotad, yeah, and Clamperl and stuff. I
Yep.
do miss those days. I do miss those
This would be
days.
good.
I don't miss Phoebus
Cottony's a
Day.
really sick looking shiny as well, isn't it? It doesn't look very
It's a
much
shiny.
different.
And Whimsicott has got its place
Yeah.
in PvP, as I think is a bit of a spicy pick, I think, in some way. I have seen it used. But we've also got new Pokemon arriving, Fomantis and Lurantis as well, which I think are bug types. The Bloomsicle Pokemon will be arriving, so it's all right. We've got new shiny, new Pokemon as well. And also, it wasn't Tapu Bunda. Tapu Bundalang as it comes the game.
Tapu Bunda.
Unfortunately, it's Tapu Lele, which is the psychic fairy version of the Gen 7 legendaries. So, again, this will be another get your Pokedex and leave it alone, frankly.
So there's going to be some wild encounters. Mine has saved the best bit here for me. The wild encounters
did see
are going to be
this.
appearing more frequently in the wild. We've got Metapod.
Oh
that-
my
why can't it be
God.
Why can't it be shiny? Why can't it be shiny? That's just frustrating. We've got Paris, which would be good. I know we'll have a spotlight out for Paris as well, but Paris in the wild's always good. New shiny, well, still shiny I haven't got yet.
And Boosted Dust.
Boosted Dust. And that spotlight is going to be amazing for the Boosted
Oh,
Dust.
yes.
Oh, fuck me. Execute.
Everyone knows what you mean.
Those eggs that have just had a spotlight out, they're coming back. That'd be fun. Ian needs one off.
Not anymore.
He needs
Not
to get
anymore.
rid of 17
I need
of
to get
them.
rid of a few now.
He's got. Sudowoodoo is also getting a spotlight hour, so that's good. That's going to be there again. Joker said, though, Hoot Hoot's great. Need another Hoot Hoot. That'd be fun. Fomantis as well, one of the new ones that Milo spoke about earlier. And Ferroseed, which is, again, a shiny I haven't got yet. And Ferroseed rarely spawns.
And GBL. Very, very good.
GBL.
Very, very
Ferrothorn.
good.
And if you're lucky, you might encounter the following. A shiny Cottony, but it's all about shiny Pinsir.
Why have they
Guys
done
laugh.
that?
It gets a mega.
I know what Pinsir shinies. I mean,
I did
everyone's
catch
got
one,
about
didn't I, Ian?
30 of
when
them,
we
haven't
did
they?
Chooks Com Day up with you, Ian, up north. I got a shiny Pinsir,
Yes,
didn't
you
I?
did, yeah.
That was
You did, yeah.
Oh, yes, you did.
It was your off-brand.
Lads, what day was that when it was like 3 years ago and it was like a raid
Oh, I
morning,
remember it.
Gengar.
and then and all of a sudden they just put pincers
In the
everywhere
wild.
and that was
amazing.
Oh, mate. Oh, I miss those
We
days.
mentioned so much that those are the things that people miss. Is those just little events that drop in that are insignificant or they're not really, you don't notice them until you get to that week and like, oh, they've got that on. And like you said, Pinsir was just dropped with it. And then like the shiny Pinsir, it was like,
Yeah.
Like a Lowland executor everywhere for the day.
Yeah.
yeah.
Can we all just appreciate though? They definitely could have just left Pinsir in the wild encounters and just had if you're lucky as the Cottony.
They
Right?
could
That
have.
didn't-
Somebody on the graphic team made a fuck up.
Exactly.
Okay, so there will be, Coops, you're going to love this, a special research called Akala Island, and there will also be timed research as well. So we're going to have a little bit to do during this event. More details will come out, but obviously there's going to be the usual grass-type Pokemon exploring throughout the event. So nice little ways to pass the time when you're not searching for your pincers.
I thought you were going to say nice waste of time.
They are a waste of time, but they're fun.
So we've got some raids for this event, and we're so lucky this news drops when we're recording the podcast. You know, when we did Incensed, its last episode, we got last week's event, and now we've started Learn Module podcast and giving us this information as we're recording. And that's the only thing that's the same between our podcasts, other than us all being the same and the same format, is the fact that we're fucking... I love 1-star raids. So 1-star raids for this event. Oh, Jesus Christ. And we record on the same night.
And the same people edit it.
So the 1-star raids are bell yeah, same people edit it. And hopefully the same people will listen to it. So all in all, it could be good. Right, so 1-star raids. We've got the fantastic Bellsprout. And we've got...
we do love you, Niantic.
We've got Tangler, which actually I like Tangler, but I don't think I'd waste a raid pass on it.
You get 2 free ones a day, Mark.
We do get 2 ones, and they can all be shiny, but I have missed one out.
Here we go.
This is the creme de la creme of 1-star raids, and this is a favourite of mine. I've not seen it for a long time in the game.
Picking it up.
We're going to see the return of everyone's favourite grass-type Pokemon. Let me hear it for the one and only.
Hang on, let me put a drum roll in for you. 1 second. Wait.
I've already edited it in. Trust me, the drum roll's been going for like 5 minutes.
Swaddle. Echo.
I've got tears. I've actually got tears. I'm actually fucking crying.
Swaddle raids.
Mark, I'm actually crying, bro.
Somebody at Niantic went to their superior and said, look at this idea I've put. And rather than saying, you idiot, what are you doing this for? They went, that's a really good strategy. Love that.
They did You Pitch We Bitch, an old Incense podcast section.
They didn't get the memo.
No.
They did not get the memo.
You
Mark,
pitch and we take it.
You're fucking funny, bro. I swear to God.
Okay, so moving on
I'm
to the
gonna be
3-star
dying at
raids that none of you are going to want to raid because none of these can be shiny. We've got...
Wait, is Umbreon there?
No, it's not. It's not. Butterfree, Vileplume, Parasect, and Executor.
And by the way, can we appreciate not one of them can be shiny from the
Yes.
This is why 3-star raids are shit.
This is why no one will be
Why
spending
isn't
money on those.
Butterfree shiny? I just don't get it. It's been shiny in the wild.
shiny
Why
in the
can't it be
wild.
shiny in raids?
It was shiny for that Fashion Week event, though, with a costume.
When it had the bow, when it had the Zoe bow on it.
When it had the bow, but it's never been shiny like on its own, unlike Umbreon, which has been shiny in the wild in the past. And then they're like, in raids, it's not possible.
That's weird. That is fucking.
Come on,
And then
Milo.
just to finish
Bring it
off,
home.
come on,
Yeah.
it's our favourite Mega Charizard. Why? Why? Which can be shiny, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay!
Which
Oh
is
my
brilliant.
God.
I'm just going to say,
Listen,
looking
yeah.
at those raids, all right, Tapu Lele, level 5, genuinely get one for the dex, and then if you're out and about, whatever, using a free pass, one of the 2 free passes per day, raid a Tangler, because Tangrowth is one of the best grass types in the game.
No, Raider Cottony, it's the new shiny,
It's in the
bro.
wild.
True.
Yeah, but okay,
Yeah, that's true.
wait. How many times has a shiny been released in the wild and you see like 7 Cottonies in the whole day of grinding? Come on, we've been
Oh,
here
yeah.
before. We've been here
it'll be all
before.
right. I think it'll be
We've
alright, Swarm, but it's going to be a standard 1 in 450, mate, trust me. Not worth raiding, for damn sure.
Oh yeah, true.
However, we've got some interesting research tasks.
I'll save my pass for Sewaddle.
Sewaddle, that superior raid boss. But if you didn't fancy the Metapod spawns, you can go for Caterpie research tasks and not get an XL candy. There's Execute, there's Sunkern, Wurmple, Seedot. Yeah, Cottony is in research tasks as well. Ferroseed and Fermantis. And if you're lucky, Paras and Parasect for some reason. Parasect's in there as a research task. And that, lads, and ladies and gentlemen, is the Lush Jungle, which will be the final event for March. It is quite bug-focused. Do you think Niantic listened to my idea?
Seriously, they listened to your request.
We'll take about
must have done.
2% of what you said and use it.
It's not called Error 404, but it's close.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I tell you what, Ian, let's have a little break from all of the Pokemon, because we need that on Lure Module podcast. You know, we need that. So time for a game.
It is certainly time for a game, and you don't know what game I've picked, do you?
No idea.
I didn't get permission from the landlord, but we got a pub quiz.
Marky's broken into
I'm
a
bringing
pub.
it back. This is a new podcast. I'm introducing a new section.
No, quickly, you've got to change the name. It's not a pub quiz. It's got to be called
It's a
something
general
quiz.
knowledge quiz. We're bringing in a general knowledge quiz. Go! Okay, so
I'm
this...
excited, Ian. This is a lovely surprise.
It's unusual you actually get to answer questions, Mark. The order will be Coops, Milo, followed by Mark is going to be the answer order. 5 questions, and we have a tiebreaker in case we get a tie. So, the first question, gentlemen. The Pan-American Highway, which spans from Argentina to Alaska, is the longest road in the world. But approximately how long is it? Is it A, 20,000 kilometers, B, 30,000 kilometers, or C, 40,000 kilometers? Senor Coops.
Fuck it. I'll play it safe. B. I'll go in the middle.
Okay.
I think it might be A.
Okay, A.
Well, I was going to go A as well, so I'm going A.
Okay, so...
You're not doing a me and
Interesting.
choosing the opposite. Sensible.
Okay, so we're going to move into the sports section now. Coops and Mott, you like football, don't you?
Shit.
Okay,
Yep.
so...
So this question's about golf.
No, it's about football. It's about football, but not our type of football. Which NFL player has recently announced that he's coming out of retirement after
for
just
fuck's
2
sake.
months? A, Tom Brady, B, Troy Aikman, or C, Joe Montana?
Literally, I've never heard of these 3 people before in my life, but we'll go with, because of Hannah Montana, we'll go with the Montana bloke.
You'll go with Miley Cyrus. Okay.
yeah. I've never, no idea who they are. Not a clue.
I've only ever heard this guy in reference to a Family Guy episode, so Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Okay.
I can confirm he is re-signing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it is Tom Brady.
He
Milo,
might be. He
so
might be.
A for me as well, please.
Good.
I'll do what Ian did that time when he went, well, it was episode.
I like it when we do that. It's good, and
Sorry,
it
Ian.
shows that you've got that sort of general knowledge. Okay, so the midpoint question. What was the original name for the Beatles? Was it A, the Foundrymen, B, the Quarrymen, or C, the Repairmen?
B, please, mate.
B for Coops.
A.
You just go A for everything, aren't you, tonight, Milo?
Yeah. Well, because Coops is going B for everything.
Fuck you, bro. Fuck you. Because apparently English people should know about American football because that's general knowledge.
It was all over the news, even in the UK.
Even I managed to see it.
Well, they were also known as, I'm going to do it here again, they were also known as the Silver Beatles, but it was
They
being
were
the
actually,
Quarrymen.
yes.
Thank you very much.
So we know Mark's
So
got
what was
a
that,
couple
Milo?
right.
Who went B? Who was that? What
I
was that?
never
What was
said
that?
you
What
were
was that?
choosing the wrong or right answers.
Okay, so question number 4, movies. No Time to Die is the most recent James Bond movie, clocking in at 163 minutes, and is to date the longest in the series. What is the shortest movie in the James Bond series? Is it A, Quantum of Solace, B, Goldfinger, or C, Live and Let Die?
Okay, so I don't think it's A because I feel like the more recent ones over the last 10, 15 years are going to be the longest with special effects, etc., etc. Goldfinger's quite an old school one. Yeah, I'm going to go B, Goldfinger. That's my thinking.
Milos.
I remember Quantum of Solace being like probably the shortest of the new generation, but I genuinely can't remember about the older ones.
Oh no, don't tell me that after I just fucking said that. Fuck's
No, I'm not
sake.
sure either. I'm going to go Quantum of Solace. A.
Sticking with the pattern, Milo. Yep. Okay.
He's a
Mark.
bugger, he is, because I'm going A as well. It's Quantum of Solace.
Okay.
Oh, fuck's sake, my theory out the window.
So the final question. What is the most popular home computer ever sold? Is it A, the Atari ST, B, the ZX Spectrum, or C, the Commodore 64?
I'm going to go with C just because it rhymes.
I'll go for B.
B for Milo, okay.
And I'm going to go for A.
Atari ST. So the answers are in. Let me just have a quick look and see who's done what.
Ooh, boys. Oi.
Yeah.
Oh,
shiny from
Ooh,
Quest.
shiny.
What have you got? A shiny what?
A Lowland Grimer. I somehow
can't-
managed to hatch an egg while sat on my arse.
Oh, well done, Milo.
Congratulations.
Hey.
Okay, so you'll be pleased to know
That's
we
how
have
much
a-
Ian cared.
I saw it. I was too busy tallying.
That's my quiz.
I see how I see how Mark like tries to multitask. Okay, we have a tiebreaker. Milo and
between?
Mark are both on 3 points. Coops, you end up with 2. Question number 1. The Pan American Highway runs from Argentina to Alaska. It's the longest road in the world, but approximately how long is it? The answer was B, approximately 30,000 kilometers.
Ooh.
So well done, Coops. Milo, you should have known that one.
I don't think it was ever it wasn't mentioned in the Top Gear
I
episode.
don't think it was actually the distance. I don't think was mentioned, but the road certainly
Top
was.
gear.
There you go.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. The distance wasn't mentioned, just the name of the road. So there you go. I'm off the hook.
So-
A technicality.
but if you watched The Long Way Up, I think it was, with Coops
it's
and
got
his mate
motorbikes,
Charlie,
fuck
then they were actually on it and they mentioned the distance on there.
It's got motorbikes in it. No.
Coops and Charlie.
Coops and Charlie.
Coops and Charlie.
Question
not saying
2.
words.
Which NFL players recently announced he's coming out of retirement after just 2 months? Yes, the answer was A, Tom Brady. And Mark was spot on, re-signing with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Question 3. What is the original name for the Beatles? Yes, Mark was up. Actually, could have given him 2 points. There was the Silver Beatles. They were also known as the Quarrymen. No Time to Die is the most recent James Bond film, clocking at 163 minutes and is the longest movie in the series to date. But what is the shortest movie? Well, the shortest movie in the series was, in fact, Quantum of Solace at just 106 minutes.
Pathetic amount.
That was a conscious decision. If you actually watch the behind the scenes with the director, he purposely wanted it to be the shortest in the series. He wanted it
Cut
to
back
be
the
short,
B-roll,
sharp, and
didn't he,
snappy.
Ian, from that one, he
Yeah,
said.
it kept it very...
You should take a tip
Very-
from him, Milo, with your videos.
Yeah, Milo.
Yeah, Milo, you need to get Mark Forster to edit your videos.
Yeah.
Just get him to come
honestly,
along
mate.
in the edit suite.
And the final question, which is the most popular home computer ever sold? The answer was, of course, the classic Commodore 64, which sold approximately 30 million units during its lifespan.
Wait.
You got that right, Coopsy.
Bro, I got 3 points then, bro.
Yeah,
I
Coops has
that
got
right.
3.
Oh, shit, he
Oh,
has.
it's Coops. Oh, yeah, it's Coops. Sorry, Milo, you lost. It's
I was
Coops
gonna
and
say,
Mark that got it right.
I was going to say, I'm not in it.
You
Yeah,
fucking
it is.
prick.
It's Coops and
I'm
Mark.
glad I did the answers, you little shit. You little
I've
shit.
even like put the answers down here.
Coops
I just
felt
assumed
like
because
he
of
was
Milo's
being
accent
wrong.
that he is clever.
Sorry, I can't believe that, you little bitch.
Ian gave me a
We'd have
bonus
found out
point
in the
because I
edit. We'd have
sound
found out in
clever.
the edit.
Marky boy, do you see that him and his little boyfriend, didn't he? Beep, 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 beep. I'll give you a point, put you through to the final.
Nom, 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 nom.
In some ways, I'm glad Milo did lose because Milo might have more of an inkling into the answer of this next question. So, Coops and Mark, how many minutes to the nearest minute did the podcast formerly known as Incensed create up to and including episode 57? So I want your answer in minutes.
As in just the episode, yeah?
As in the total number, out of 57 episodes, what was the total number of minutes that we actually
Minutes.
aired,
Published, I assume you mean.
published?
In minutes, bro.
Minutes.
Oh
I wanted to
my
make this one tough.
God. Okay, do you know what? I would say 4,000 minutes, but... Well, have you got similar to that?
Very
Mark?
similar, yeah.
No, okay, but because it's you guys and I know how over the episodes are, I'm going to go a little bit more than that. So let's just say 4,100 is what I'm going to go for.
4,100 minutes for Coops. Okay. Mark, Masterful 27.
I was working on an average across the 57, 3,990 minutes. That's what I wrote
Okay,
down.
fair. Oh, damn, this is going to be close then, because if it's in the middle, mate, this is... Okay, here we go.
One of you is scarily close to the actual answer. Scarily close. So to date, Incense to Pokemon podcast over its lifespan up to episode 57.
Before it was canned.
Rest
It was
in
done
peace.
in its history.
Had a total number of minutes to the value of 3,960.
Oh my
30
god.
minutes off.
Mark was only half an episode off. Oh my god.
Which is just under 66 hours.
Well, there you go, Marky boy,
Well done, Mark.
the
Well
winner.
done, mate.
Deservedly so with that tiebreaker. Holy shit.
Wow, that's a great
Do
question.
you know what, Mark? I was actually literally gonna go for 4,000, so I still would have lost anyway. So congratulations, mate. Congratulations.
And
Still
Learn
close.
Module podcast is currently going for 63 minutes. So, and that's us before post edit.
Yeah.
Listen, mate, speaking of Lure Moduled, a Pokemon Go podcast, mate. Come on, Marky. Let's see that poll, baby. Let's see it. Is that Mark's poll?
Oh, it's satisfying, that noise is.
Mark, I got some in my
Satisfying
mouth.
end to that jingle, isn't it? It really is.
You know what? It's my favourite jingle, that is.
For all parties.
Definitely for all parties. So, guys.
Definitely a happy ending.
Oh, yeah. So it's a bit weird, isn't it? 'Cause it's technically the last time I got my poll out on one show, and the first time I've got it out on a new show. But we don't know where it's going to revert back to after this. But hey, it was a busy poll. 193 people on my poll, and the question...
Wow.
Oh,
That's a
Marky
big
boy,
number.
working hard.
That's a well-used poll.
You didn't even tell me you were getting my poll out, so I was caught by surprise with this one. So well done, boys.
I hope you had some
I
lube.
felt a tingle.
It was definitely lubed up. Yes, it was lubed up.
Lubed up podcast.
lubed up Pokemon Go podcast.
That could be next week's title.
Maybe
Our four faces on bottles of lube.
Oh my god.
I want to see the artwork.
As you listen to this episode, that artwork will be put up on our Twitter.
Hey guys, this episode has also been sponsored by everyone's favourite product, KY.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Coops, you look very dry over there. Do you know that there's a new...
Coops just uses Vaseline.
Coops uses spit and sawdust.
Oh my god.
As Milo would say, let's move it on. Let's move it back to the topic. So the question was, because Incense is now officially dead, actually look at the little emojis, I reckon it was Coops tugging on my poll here, we're thinking of changing to Learn Moduled podcast. What do you think? We had some comments. We did put a little graphic to show you what Learn Moduled to Pokemon Go podcast could look
Amazing,
like.
by the way.
Amazing.
Amazing.
A few comments that we had was, could have gone with something like Lucky Eggs, a Pokemon Go podcast. Nice one, Callum.
Any item. Any
Sue
item goes.
HermesNinja makes a very valid point because it isn't yet April the 1st. Stuart Evans said, replying to Incensed podcast, says, it looks like a 90s boy band album. That well,
Hey.
not the ones with lube bottles, but the one with the Learn Module logos on. And actually, guys, I'm going to say it. This is a big moment for us, or it might be a big moment for Learn Module to Pokemon Go podcast, because we've got Cowboy Hat Caterpie following us now on Twitter and commenting
Did see that. I did
on
see
our
that.
posts.
Yes, boy.
And he went, well played. So, drum roll, please. This makes or breaks our future, boys. 61% of people have said, nah, we love Incensed. We're sounding. 39% want us to move over to being a Learn Module podcast. But
Why is that so close? Why is that so close?
a little bit concerned.
We honestly thought it'd be a bigger sway over towards keeping Incensed.
I'm thinking now we might as well change over. Clearly, no one gave a shit.
Yeah, but did you notice Ken didn't comment?
So does that mean we're back, boys?
Mark, first of all, thank you for your poll. I appreciate you letting me use your poll.
I thought it was you.
Yeah, you could tell by the emojis. I love that.
Oopsie.
But no, it is time to obviously reveal. We're only having a bit of banter and a bit of a joke with you all. Apologies if, 50, 45 minutes into the episode and you did genuinely believe that we're changing the podcast to Lured Up. To fucking hell, not Lured Up, sorry. To Lure Moduled. Sorry, Ken and Adam. No, Lured Up is another podcast. But yeah, we are sticking with Incensed, a Pokemon Go podcast. But we just thought, yes.
The intro's staying.
Hello, boys
Tonight.
and girls.
Welcome back to Incense.
We're back.
We're not going anywhere. But gentlemen, speaking of the best podcast in the space, Incensed, a Pokemon Go podcast, I do want to talk about probably the worst thing in the Pokemon Go space at the moment, which is actually the Incense. Now, when this all kicked off, about 2 weeks ago now, gents, about 2.5 weeks ago, when
Yeah.
Niantic did revert, let's say, the coronavirus incense bonus, going from 1 spawn a minute, boys, if I'm correct.
Yep.
And it's now currently, as we're talking about it, things could change, but it's now 1 spawn every 5 minutes, which how it was, Jesus Christ, a long time ago.
Whilst stationary.
Whilst stationary. Thank you very much, Ian. Now, the community, social media, YouTubers, a lot of videos, a lot of tweets, a lot of comments were obviously all around in the air were saying how ridiculous it was to do. Everybody was absolutely fuming. Like I said, all content creators made videos about it. Everybody was like, why are you ruining the game? Why would you do this, that, and the other? If you listen to us every week, you'll probably be like, why have the boys not spoken about it? It's just been quite a big subject, this month, and it's still going on at the moment. So us lads just wanted to touch base for 10-15 minutes and actually talk about the Incense, the changes to Incense. Now, I will start off my main view. We're going to do different bullet points, but my main view of this is, as you guys know, I am a pioneer for making this game better, for bringing in new shinies, new Pokemon, new legendaries, new updates, new events, new things, just anything we can to make this game get to the potential where it could be. And I still think it's no way near the potential with technology and the internet and phones and computers, and this game could literally be incredible. And I always joke, and I've joked in the past, but yeah, we're still dealing with fucking a costume shop that looks like The Sims in 1987.
Yeah, with nothing correlating.
You lot know, for me personally, if we're just looking at Incense not basically working at all when you're from home and not being worth the money and not being worth sitting there for half an hour, yeah, I think it's ridiculous and the worst thing that they could have ever done. Milo, what about you? Straight off the bat.
Yeah, I'm personally against the action that they've taken. Niantic, we've said this before, and it was exactly the same way back in August with the Pokestop reduction radius. I feel that Niantic have a habit of being retractive with the game, not proactive with the game in general. And you've said that literally, like, they're stuck doing whatever, and the shop items don't fucking work, and there are bugs that take years to fix. And it's like, but as soon as something that's good and helpful for the game, will take that out within 24 hours or whatever it is. You never see them move faster.
Well, 2 hours.
Yeah, in some circumstances, they're really quick to sort of make the game feel a bit more stale rather than pushing it. They can push it further, and they could do way more with it. And the Incense falls in that bracket. In my view, what harm was it doing to them and the game in terms of the item and the gameplay styles for everyone who's playing the game? More people have picked up the game during the pandemic than I think in the previous 4 years at that point of the game at all. More people are playing Pokemon GO, certainly that I've seen. So removing that bonus also with such a short notice, or no notice in this case actually, you're only going to hack people off and damage people's gameplay styles. And that's just sort of a short in the hand from me.
Of course, yeah, we're going to dive into, we're going to, but just that's what I wanted. I just wanted straight off the bat your initial thoughts. Marky boy.
I'm one of those so-called content creators who put a video out about it.
Subscribe, Masterful27.
Subscribe now, please. I was very sort of, at the very beginning, I was very much like, it was going to happen. It had to happen. We were all going to be really, really sort of naive to think it wasn't going to just happen quickly. Where I had the issues, and where I have got the issues with, is that kind of basically not had the notice period that was put on the original communication. So it wasn't even like they've given us notice. It's kind of just happened. Okay, I'm not saying it would have been any different a month down the line, but we'd have at least had to get a bit of time to get our heads into it that was going to change. I was thinking on it a little bit more about that, and actually that's not really a good enough reason to be frustrated by it. I'm saddened by it, and unfortunately it doesn't impact me directly. Is the people that have discovered the game during the pandemic. What I mean by that is people that wouldn't have played Pokemon GO before because maybe they weren't able to. And now we had the pandemic, and actually what they did to the game made it really easy to engage with people from home and remotely, and like have raid trains from home, and it built a real social aspect to the game. For me, they're the people that I feel, I wouldn't want to say sorry for, because that seems a bit condescending, but they're the ones that will probably be hit the hardest. And if they are restricted to that point, and it could be for any reason, by the way, they're the ones that will just stop playing the game moving forward. They won't be able to play com days anymore. They can still fucking, I can't get my words out. Remote raid remotely. I just think, and we'll talk more about it. Yeah, that's kind of where my head is with it at the moment.
Lads, can I just quickly confirm, Incense works exactly the same as it did 6 months ago when you're walking. We are specifically talking about playing from home or playing from your work desk, right? That's what...
I've seen varied reports.
Okay, so cut long story short, when you're stationary, it's 1 every 5 minutes, and it used to be 1 every minute. When you're walking, it's still not as good as it was, but it's better than the 1 a minute.
I think it's supposed to be 1 every minute when you're walking.
1 every minute when you're walking over.
But
200
I've seen people reporting like getting no spawns and stuff, or like where you have to do the classic old school walking 200 meters a minute to get the spawns.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes you have to stop, catch all the spawns. I get it. Yeah,
the moment you stop in game, even if it's GPS lag, the moment you're stationary, the incense stops working.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I just wanted to confirm that so everyone knows what we're talking about. Ian, straight off the bat.
I am going to be not popular, but then again, why change 45 years of life? Don't have a massive problem with what they've done. Kind of like what Mark said. I knew it was coming. It doesn't really bother me as such. Now, I understand why people are incensed about it, shall we say. But I don't really have personal issue with it. I never used incense before the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, fucking brilliant. We're going to spawn a minute. But that is where the problem lies. People got used to having, for 2 years, people got used to having a spawn a minute. People got lazy. Now, I say lazy. There are people with mobility issues. There are people that can't sort of go outside and play. But Pokemon Go was designed to get your ass out and about and explore. Sitting at home waiting for a spawn a minute isn't going to encourage that. So I see why they've done what they've done. Am I happy about it? I'd rather they kept it as it was, but it was inevitable it was going to happen. It was only ever introduced as a short-term bonus. And in fact, Niantic said that these bonuses would be withdrawn at some point in the future. Yes, they said they was going to give us more notice, and like Mark said, they gave us, I think, a day. But more notice wouldn't have changed the problem that people would still be pissed off about it, whether they gave us a month's notice or whether they gave us a year's notice. People would still be pissed off about it. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think people find it hard though, don't they? Because I hear what you're saying, but I think a lot of people, and especially me, we've spoken about this before briefly, but they would say, yeah, you're taking away incense, you're taking away this, you're taking away that, but the remote raids are still in full force because that's where you earn your billions of dollars on a annually basis. So why are you not? If you're going to move all the let's say the coronavirus stuff, I fucking hate that word now. But if you're going to move the pandemic, if you're going to move the pandemic bonuses out of there, then don't get me wrong, they did an amazing job buffing incense, remote raids. They genuinely kept the game alive in times when you actually could not leave your house. Like, they did an incredible job quite quickly, but it's one of those things. But then take the remote raids away. If you really care about exploration and go, I agree. Take the remote raids away. But my first point is that keyword, Ian, laziness. And we're going to touch on mobility difficulty.
That's my opinion.
No, because I'm with you. No, I'm with you. But we're going to touch on the disability and not being able, because like you said, mate, there's people that can't walk 10 miles a day. So let's talk about laziness. Now, we're all content creators, right? And this is my opinion. I used to be a content creator. I'm still as passionate about the game. Some weeks I don't give a shit, but I still am in full force.
Some weeks he does give a shit.
Yeah, but like, I don't know what you lot think, but I think the outrage from all of the content creators, people that Twitch, people that YouTube, people that whatever platform these players use from, I honestly believe that the reason why they're fuming is purely because the incense at home comes from their content. So if they're not getting the Pokemon, the spawns, the Shinies, the XL, they don't think that their content is good enough type thing. I think that's where the word laziness comes into it. I do think that a lot of content creators straight off the bat were only worried from a selfish point of view. They didn't look at the bigger picture. They were only like, hold on, shit, like I'm looking at this from a selfish angle that I put my incense on and my content is from my incense at home or wherever. What do you lot think about that? Where's your vibe with that? We all make YouTube videos, we all live stream.
Again, that's sort of a subjective thing because some content creators go out and about to live stream, some people vlog and stuff out and about, whereas some people do sit at home and do whatever. Whether it is the sole reason why they've put up a video objecting to it or whatever is entirely up for debate, really, because you don't know. That's an individual thing. I personally feel it might be more, when you've built up a community online around your content creation stuff, you get to hear a lot of people's opinions very quickly, quicker than Niantic would hear, because they've got like clearly a social media block where they don't get all the hate on all of their posts and like, right, we'll just ignore that. I think content creators through Discords and whatever hear about it very, very quickly, can see people's frustration, pain, irritation with it. That, I think, might be more of a reason than them necessarily sitting at home not being able to get as many spawns. Because again, not being able to get as many spawns is subjective to where you live. If someone who lives rurally, cue the cow noise, they'll get no spawns. Whereas me, I never use Incense at home.
Here he goes.
Because I live on 7 stops. And yeah, exactly. So again, using Incense from home, I think entirely depends on your status of the game around you. I did have a point which is a bit more interesting about the short notice, if you don't mind me dropping in. Mark said that they basically gave no notice. In terms of, they said in a previous post, we will give a month's notice as to when we're making these changes. Whereas if you woke up in Australia, you got 2 hours notice or 3 hours notice of this change being made effective.
Or if you overslept,
no notice.
Yeah.
So basically, they went.
You were looking at me. Ian was looking at me, bro.
They didn't follow through on what they said they would be doing. And I think that is purely down to the circumstance of the last time they tried to make a significant change with the Pokestop. Because remember, they gave like a month or two's notice with the Pokestop change, and that gave everyone time to prepare and do the social media bits and pieces, congregate together as a community to give them fucking hell. And we thankfully made the change stick. If they give us no notice, we're just like, well, what the fuck do we do? And yeah, I think that's genuinely a plot ploy of them to actually make sure that it goes through. Anyway, back to the other point.
No, to be honest,
I like that point.
Mate, we've not had. I like listening to you guys.
I think the pandemic affected everybody in different ways. Some people saw an opportunity to be able to get more from their content because of it. I'm trying to think back to content creators before we had these changing bonuses. And from memory, I don't think we've ever had anyone sat at home streaming Pokemon GO, did we, before? I'm just thinking back, couldn't play it from home and stream it.
You couldn't do it really,
No.
and raids you couldn't do your raid hours from home either. No,
Do you know what's funny though?
Streaming popped up in the pandemic.
I was going to say, I think in like 2019, I don't think Twitch was like, it obviously was a thing, it was
But
massive.
Pokemon
you
Go.
had people mobile streaming, didn't you?
But for Pokemon Go, it weren't a thing.
Yeah.
And then now in 2022, 3 years on, everyone's on Twitch. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's absolute great platform.
I think now, like you said, we just got used to it, didn't we? Like every time you put someone's channel on, it was just best of bits from Twitch, wasn't it? Some of the mainstream content creators on YouTube were just bolting together their best Twitch bits, weren't they? The reason they're probably making a lot of noise is it will impact their income. Let's not be naive to think that, and they will. Some content creators quit it during the pandemic, so I think that was more about just where the game was going, and they felt that strongly about it. But I think all those who never really had an opinion. And there were some big content creators that kept their mouths shut when everyone else was really pissed off. We won't mention them because it's not fair, because there's always two sides to every story. But I'm sure they'll be the ones now pissed off. Yeah, I think now, like you said, Ian, I agree with him. Actually, to be fair, probably 100%, it is all relevant. It was all going to happen. It was all going to be there. But Milo, you stream. You are a content creator. If they stop doing remote raids, does that stop your live streaming then? Just
that fucks me over.
Yeah.
That completely fucks me. Then the thing is, I'm sort of in the safety net of, they will not take out remote raids. The only circumstance with remote raids, I think, is they're going to reduce the damage significantly in the later down the road, and they may make it so that only in-person people could invite. That's the only other hampering I could think of. I mean, the Incense, I never run an Incense at home personally, apart from doing the podcast and Incense days, but that's entirely me. I mean, there are people who work from home, may not be able to get out and about, and Incense is a core functionality that they rely on to get, because nothing more irritating than when your daily spawn runs. You're like, well, for fuck's sake, I have to now put an Incense down to do my daily catch if you're stuck in that circumstance, whatever the circumstances of your day.
And then you got to wait 5 minutes.
And then you got to wait 5 fucking minutes for it. Yeah.
So, hypothetically speaking, and this isn't a challenge to the decision, but Incense serves a purpose for the more rural players. And you can build up a village. It is possible. I'm sure our friends at Waste Spotters podcast will happily be sharing some of those tips with us sometime in the future about how we can get more out of our areas. And I think that there's quite a lot you can learn from that. But there are also people, and Milo, when you went on holiday, you were literally in a place that had nothing, weren't you?
Yeah.
And if you live in a place that's got nothing, with no points of interest or anything like that, and you've played the game before but you've moved there, because I agree with Ian, if you've always lived there, you won't play Pokemon GO. You wouldn't get into the game, because why would you? But if you did move, it does feel like... I just think incenses are so harmless, aren't they? I just think they're a harmless mechanic in the game.
Well, exactly.
Really, when you look at it all.
It's an item. It's just an item.
It's an item
is
pay
there.
for.
And the thing I really don't get, two bits and pieces, is one, the game has evolved so far now. Why are they pulling this thing back, even if they feel it's justified? The game is now nearly 3 years on, or just over 2 years, rather, into the pandemic bonuses and stuff, and more people have picked up the game during the pandemic. Why not just go, right, okay, new playing field, this is how it's going to be, and rock and roll with it? It's not doing any harm, I feel, having the incense spawn once a minute, because reality is, you don't tend to put an incense down when you're out and about because you're within spawns. If you're out and about walking, you're going to a park, a town, down a road of a village with some POIs.
Some people do. Some people do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You will more than likely find wild spawns. So literally, might just be me, but I only ever put down incenses during comm days and a few other like mini events during the weekend, like if there was an incense day or spotlight hour or something during normal gameplay.
That would be funny, wouldn't it? An incense day, putting on an incense.
Yeah, exactly.
Try that.
Exactly.
We should try that. Film that one.
It should be blindingly obvious, but Niantic's reasoning for it, I feel, is so odd because they're like, we want people to go out and explore and stuff. We're like, well, making incense worse doesn't encourage exploration. Really?
No, but it stops the spawns like popping every minute at home, so you've got to go out if you want the spawns.
Yeah, and I think that but Ian, I get it because it's like what I said. Maybe when I started off this little debate here, it didn't make sense.
I'm giving a balanced opinion here. Obviously,
Ian,
I can't
always
just
the balance in
I
these
have
discussions.
to be. I have to be. It can't just
Ian,
all
can
be
you
people
balance
ranting.
on my cock? No.
I'll balance on anything you want, mate.
But I think when I started it, I didn't really make sense what I meant about the content creator and the laziness. It didn't come out right. But what I mean is like what you said. If they destroyed remote raids, then that would destroy your Wednesday afternoons. But you started content creation way before the pandemic, so you knew what you were getting yourself in for, and you knew that the thingy was YouTube videos, subscribers, views, the rev. You knew that it was that. This just came into your lap as a pandemic, as the remote, as the live stream, and now that you've got a structure. So this is what I'm trying to look at. And hear me out. I'm not calling you selfish. That's not what I'm saying.
No. It's an example. I get that.
Yeah, but what I mean is you're going, that fucks me. That a bit like these streamers and people. They go, that fucks me. That ruins me. That ruins my content. So now I've got. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know.
Yes.
Again, I'm not firing shots at you, but it's I don't know whether content creators, and obviously they're the ones that listen to the opinions, get all the messages, get the tweets and stuff about issues and stuff. I don't know whether they genuinely feel this way or they kind of feel a little bit like Ian and Mark do, but they're looking at it from a content and selfish point of view. If that makes sense.
We're all content creators, so Mark and I have an opinion. That's true. Obviously different to my.
True.
So we are content creators as well. We're not streamers. I think there's a difference.
There is a big difference. There is a big difference.
But like I said, I know that's not me firing shots at any stream, nothing at all. I'm just saying it's a little discussion about where do we want this incense? Should it be 1 a minute when you're not moving, 1 every 5 minutes, or should it be meet in the middle, 1 every 2.5, 3 minutes? Where are we at with everything? So yeah, sorry, Milo, you were.
That's all right, mate. I don't know if we want to just talk about this back and forth on social media, which I'm sure people have seen, where people who pipe up and register dissatisfaction with the decision made are then called lazy.
No, I don't. I'm not. No, when I said lazy, I meant people are just staying at home. I don't mean everyone's lazy. I wasn't talking about but you. It does encourage laziness. It encourages you to stay in one place and not go out and about
and not play the game for what it is, right?
Yeah, the game wasn't designed that way. Granted, it's evolved, but we've changed the way that the game plays because we couldn't go out for a long time. Now, the world's getting to a point where a lot of places you can go out. And, I mean, here in the UK, we're blessed in that it's fairly back to normal.
I think, what I was sort of going to say is, similar to something I said earlier, is that Incense itself isn't an exploration tool. Nobody, as far as I'm aware, goes on the Pokemon Go and goes, right, I'm going to venture to somewhere else because I can use an incense there.
Agreed.
It's again with similar to the 80 meter or reducing it to a 40 meter radius. Niantic thinking, we need to get people to explore and stuff and go to POIs. In reality, the game has shifted so far. Like Zoe Two Dots made a very good point way back in August. Like most people have a local grind spot, that they go to. People have explored their local community 6,000 fucking times over. So there's very little in terms of exploration to be going for in your local area.
And when you nominate a Pokestop in your area, it takes 8 years to get accepted.
Bro, or then it gets marked as a duplicate and you're like, where's the fucking thing? Like, it's so bad. The idea of laziness and putting that on social media as a back and forth, I don't really think is fair and justified, because you don't know what someone's day-to-day bits and pieces are. You don't know whether they're able to go outside at all and play. The fact that the game has been like this for 2+ years, it's not, as far as I can see, it's not really doing much harm. I'm still not really going to drop an incense at home, personally, even if it is one spawn every minute. It just makes recording the podcast a bit more spicy with more spawns.
Okay, well, I'm going to take you up on that point, Mark. I get what you're saying. I'm in a position where I work an average 11 to 12-hour day. So I'm one of these people that doesn't get to play the game a lot. Mark's in a similar position. Now, I like to go out on a summer's evening, even if it's like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, to go for a little bit of a walk, a bit of exercise. The incense itself, I think, is more a trigger for people because we've been given something and it's been taken away. We've got used to it. We've become addicted to the fact that we've had these spawns regularly. There's going to be a period of adjustment. Niantic are probably not going to revert it back just because we as a community aren't happy. What I'm trying to say when I use the term laziness, and that's been brought up a lot in this conversation, so I need to reiterate what I mean. My opinion with laziness isn't that everybody is lazy, but there are some people, and I know people, so I'm talking about this from personal experience, that will quite happily now not venture out, not go for a walk around the park, not go for a 3-hour walk on a Sunday. They will just sit at home, or did sit at home, drop an incense, and then what comes to them? Fucking brilliant. But they don't go out anymore. They don't play the game anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. It's not that I'm calling the community lazy. It's that a lot of people's gameplay has adapted because of this situation, and change is never easy. We don't like change. Getting a change for the positive, where you get something extra, brilliant. Taking it back, there's always going to be this sort of resentment.
I just feel sorry for the people playing from home, and that's it, because they're not getting enough XL candy to max the Pokemon to level 50, are they?
Yeah, I would counter. Not counter that, because this isn't a back and forth or whatever.
It really is the counter bros, isn't it?
Counter bros.
It really is the counter bros. Fucking hell.
Personally, I don't think, and God's sake, Niantic really don't listen to what we're saying at all. But
of course they don't.
Of course they don't. I don't think that people who've got the game, who enjoy the game, who have joined global communities and stuff over the course of the pandemic, Discords have sprouted up for raids and stuff like that, and we've all met people and chatted to people we never would have encountered at all throughout the last 2 years. I don't think it's fair, and I know fair is a tenuous word to put into this context, but subjective, yeah. I don't think players who have mobility issues and social anxiety and other forms of, I don't know what the word is really, but difficulty maybe going outside and stuff, why they should have a negative impact just because a couple of people can't be bothered to go outside. If you're not bothered to actually go outside and play, like you are legitimately saying, right, I can get this amount of spawns at home on Incense, so I'm not going to go out and walk. That's a you problem, not a job for Niantic to be changing, the game strategy, not a job for Niantic to be negatively impacting the rest of the world with it. And then they miss out on social community aspects and all of that sort of stuff.
Milo, I'm glad you brought that up though, because my last bullet point here that I do want to touch on is, like you said, disabled people, people with mobility difficulties, people with social anxiety, people that just, don't like going out and talking. It's being around 40, 50 people, shoving a camera in your face. Not that I've ever done that. I don't do that.
Sorry.
I never do that. Yeah. Apologies for the last 3 years. No, but let's touch on that, because for me, I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter. Actually, a lot of people that were wheelchair users. A lot of people were saying, like, what am I supposed to do now? I've fallen in love with this game over the last year, even more than I have done before, and now I can't go out every night. Like Ian said, for a 45-minute walk, an hour walk. I can't even do that, even if I wanted to. And I genuinely believe it is vital. It is absolutely vital to put something in place for those players, so that it's fair and that they're not missing out. But talking about what Ian and Marky were, how do we do this?
Niantic could very easily look at when people that started playing the game during the pandemic, look at the start date of their accounts being set up, then look at distance travelled on that account, and then look at how they play the game, because they will have that information, what they've purchased, how they play the game. Yeah. And I think very simply, a bit like with the debacle about the poker coin value, for everyone had a different value box. It didn't matter. Yes. We know why they did that, and maybe there's something bigger behind that. Surely, there's enough that they could cater or enhance or modify the gaming experience by account based on certain parameters. So if you're like us four, and we go out and play it, we're on our feet, we enjoy it, we lose that incense bonus now because we can do what we do. And I know circumstances could change. Every circumstance can change. But if you've got people that have played the game for like less than 3 years, they've walked 100 kilometres or moved 100 kilometres in 3 years, and all they've done is buy incenses, they can offer them something which allows them to carry on playing in that same way, and it doesn't upset the cart for everyone else. Because like Coops made a really... when you said it, Coops, I'm so pleased you said it. If they're taking this out of a pandemic bonus, the biggest change was the remote raiding. Surely that should just go as well. It won't go, because they make a fortune out of it. They could make a fortune out of charging more for these items for people that can get more incense productivity or better value of it for those traders, if that's how they want to go about it. So the rest of us are paying a lot of money to do remote raiding, and those who probably buy a lot of incense can pay a little bit more, but they get a different experience for it. But that was one of the solutions I proposed, and actually I think that's probably a good balance. We're not naive to think that everybody could fudge anything on this game, but does it bother us? I've made peace with that. I think we said this before. I've made peace with people at Spoof. Let them do it. Doesn't change how we play it.
This opinion in terms of where the whole discussion is at and where the bonus change is at is probably too late, but I personally think, and I said it a couple of weeks ago, I don't see why Incense, when stationary, isn't the same as a lure module, because they do exactly the same fucking job. So point. Why not? It is a compromise, and it does make playing from home a bit worse, but it's not exponentially worse as it was back in 2016. Why not have a spawn every 3 minutes if you're stationary? Because that's exactly what a standard lure module does if you're sat on top of a Pokestop having pub lunch.
I think it's that like it said, you've got too little, too much. Let's meet in the middle, but instead they always jump over the middle ground, and But listen, I'm excited to see what they do for the players with mobility difficulties, what we just spoke about, because that's definitely caused a bit of an uproar, and so it should. There's got to be something in place. Don't know how they do it, but I'm looking forward to that. Maybe we can talk about that in a few months if anything changes. Boys, thank you for the discussion. But now, Ian, get ready, bro, because it's time for my favourite segment of the show. It is Shinies of the Week.
Shinies of the Week.
Now, I'm going to go first, lads, because I've got one off Instagram.
No.
So I've got one here from Kevin Cannon, and his trainer name is Chef Kevbo. For the record, I was listening to the podcast and got 2 back-to-back blue bellies. So this was on Community Day. He did get 2 shiny Alolan Sandshrews. And then he said, almost forgot, you twat, #Shinies of the Week. So yeah, glad you had a good Community Day, and congratulations on that one, Kevin.
Appreciate listening to us as well on Com Day. Mm-hmm. I've got one from Twitter. Zophie13 sent in 2, tweeted the first one, then the second one came through, still listening to the episode. Shiny Drowsy, listening to @Incense Podcast, and there she is, love heart eyes. House spawn, no incense used. #Shinies of the Week, #Pokémon GO. And then also bagged a shiny Smeargle from the snapshots for the event. Still listening to @Incense Podcast.
Nice.
So congrats.
I just reminded I had to do my Smeargle snapshots then.
Me too, actually.
Well, I'm going to butcher how this is pronounced, but I know that when we had this audio message sent to us, forgive me, Swarfleif, I think it was. Was it Swar?
Oh, yeah.
Swarleif? Swallow.
Surlath.
Oh,
Surlath.
Surlath,
yeah.
that's the one. So slow catch week, but no sooner had the words #Shinies of the Week been uttered in episode 57. I was photobombed on my first attempt with my first shiny Smeagol. Followed yesterday with shiny Tornadus on my first raid. Cheers, lads. #Why does Tornadus have better breasts than me, though? Fantastic.
And the last one we've got tonight is from Gilbo. This one's from Twitter at Incensed Podcast, #Shinies of the Week. Bag myself my first grey fire slug.
Oh,
Shiny Slugma.
I love that.
Metallic slug.
Beautiful shiny. Beautiful shiny.
Speaking of shinies, boys, did anybody get shiny tonight from their 12?
12 spawns.
I didn't insert a law module tonight, Coops.
Listen, I suppose what's annoying is us three. We don't have a
Don't have
Pokestop.
7 stars. No.
Oh, I didn't put lures down anyway, don't worry.
Oh well,
it was
Milo,
fair, compa.
Next week, Milo, you've got to put 4 on one. For,
Next week I'll
one
put them
for-
all down. Yeah, I needed a research task, and hatching an egg while sat down on my arse with GPS drift. Perfect.
Perfect.
And you got a shiny. Yeah, very nice, Milo.
And from you, Milo, mate, I might as well say, as you would say, gents, thanks for a cracking episode. I know I did joke earlier, and I did say to follow us on our socials at Lure Module Podcast. We definitely, like I said, we've definitely not changed the name, but please do follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Incensed Podcast, and we'll see all of us there. Join in with some of Mark's polls. And of course, as well, if you haven't given us a rating or some feedback for the podcast on Spotify and Apple or any of the platforms that you listen to, please, 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 please do.
Of course, we want to give our special thanks to our Patreon supporters. Without your help, the podcast would not be possible. That goes to the bronze tier Patreons.
And also the silver tier patrons as well.
And a special thank you to our top tier gold Patreons, who are CliffordMert,
AgentMLI,
Martin2292,
SpydaLog,
HermesNinja,
TishSmith.
JB. Thank you very much for your contributions to the production of the podcast.
We wouldn't sound as good as we do without you, so thank you very much.
And we will see you next week for episode 59. Milo will be back with a banger, Milo. Is it going to be cracking, yeah, bro?
It's going to be a cracking episode.
It's going to be a cracking one. And on that bombshell, me and my 3 beautiful Bundelenga boys will be back next week. See you then.
I choose you!